That is a freaky, freaky sound. It is coming from the sky all around. There is no wind blowing whatsoever.
Thousands of dead fish have turned up in one Grand Island lake, prompting city and wildlife officials to launch an investigation. An angler ice fishing on Sucks Lake reported the fish killed to the Nebraska Game and Parks Commission just last week. NTV's Nina Harrelson joins us now live in studio with more on this fish kill.
Deadly flooding has submerged Jakarta, paralyzing the Indonesian capital. At least 7 people have been killed in the rising waters triggered by heavy monsoon rains. More than 20,000 people were forced from their homes in the capital. Few areas of the city of 14 million people were spared, with water levels up to 6.5 feet in some places.
The big chill, 133 million Americans in this together. All day, these pictures were streaming into our newsroom. Wisconsin, Chicago, New York, and Washington, D.C. All of us apparently doing anything we could to stay warm. Take a look at that. In fact, it was so cold today, the Great Lakes had a wind chill of -40, which feels colder than the North Pole.
An estimated 70,000 people have been displaced by severe floods in Mozambique, according to the United Nations. Severe rains have caused dangerously high sea levels along the line. In total, 36 people have been killed by the floods in Mozambique. Several more have died in neighbouring South Africa.
Farmers wrestled to recapture some 15,000 crocodiles on the loose in South Africa. They escaped from a crocodile farm near the border with Botswana this week when heavy rain swept through the area, causing flooding. Workers opened the farm gates out of fear that the rushing water would crush the reptiles. Only half of the escaped crocodiles have been recaptured in the area.
Of special interest to our viewers in the West tonight, right now in one of the prettiest spots in the country, the problem is dirty air. While this happens every year, this year is the worst anybody can remember, making life anywhere outside the home downright dangerous. NBC.
This is the inversion up in Bountiful Boulevard. There is a city down there.
Rains continue to pound the Davao region. Local government units have ordered preemptive evacuation while residents displaced by recent flooding continue to stay in evacuation centers. ABS-CBN.
The residents, every time there is a heavy rainfall, the residents say that so far this is the worst in 35 years because of the continuous rain and the increasing level of water.
Caraga town in Davao Oriental has yet to recover from the wrath of Typhoon Pablo. Yet another disaster has struck the area. Non-stop rains caused massive floods, damaging a bridge, thus isolating the town.
A drop in temperatures Saturday has aided firefighters in the southeastern part of Australia. But more than 120 fires are still burning. And according to local media, more than 24 fires are still burning out of control. Authorities believe lightning strikes started a number of new blazes, including a fire in a national park just north of Sydney. Helicopters spent the day water bombing the fire as firefighters stood by in case the blaze threatened homes and property. In Victoria.
Torrential rains flood northern parts of Australia's Queensland state on Friday, causing chaos for residents. Large parts of the state are on severe weather alert as the rains now move southwards. The heavy rains, the remnants of Tropical Storm Oswald, caused some major highways and dozens of roads to be cut off, isolating towns and flooding properties. Some residents said they were struggling to get rid of the water in and around their houses. Authorities say those living in southeast Queensland are due to experience heavy rainfall and strong winds this weekend.
They've had flooding in Queensland before, but rarely has it arrived so quickly or caused so much devastation. Record-breaking rainfall means a severe weather warning is in place across the state, with hundreds of inundated coastal homes evacuated.
Good evening. Queensland's wild weather has taken an incredible turn. More than 1,000 homes are now under threat of flooding in central Queensland. Tornadoes have hit the Bundaberg region and the southeast is tonight in the firing line. We have teams...
Pleasure. The extreme weather has provided some spectacular images on the Sunshine Coast. This foam has been stirred up by the wild waves and huge tides hitting between Maroochydore and Mooloolaba. In some parts, it's above head height for locals.